Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something you've probably heard about, mindfulness.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
Right, and maybe you're wondering, what is this mindfulness meditation thing? Could it actually, help me?
Good questions. We've pulled together some info from the Mayo Clinic to really get into.
Okay, so we're grounding this in what they say. What's their take on mindfulness, basically?
Well, they define it as this specific way of focusing. Focusing your attention really intensely.
Intensely, how so?
On your senses, your feelings, what's happening right now. But here's the key part.
Mm-hmm.
Without judging it or,
Right.
immediately trying to figure it out or label it good or bad.
Ah, okay, so just noticing.
Exactly. And they mention practices like breathing exercises, guided imagery,
Hmm.
relaxation stuff to help cultivate that.
Right, and why is that important? I mean, the not judging, the focusing now.
Well, the Mayo Clinic points out that we spend so much time, don't we, planning or replaying things.
Oh yeah, or daydreaming, or worrying.
Totally. Those negative thought loops. And they say that constant mental churn can really lead to stress, anxiety,
Ah,
even depression sometimes.
that makes sense. It's exhausting.
It really can be. So mindfulness, according to them, is about gently pulling your attention
Back to the present.
back to the present, away from those loops, engaging fully with what's actually happening right here, right now, inside and out.
Okay, so our mission today for everyone listening is to really unpack this, get clear on what mindfulness is based on the Mayo Clinic's view,
Look at the benefits their research points to.
and give some practical ways you can maybe start trying this out. See if it fits.
Absolutely. And it's important to say these benefits aren't just anecdotes.
Right, not just stories.
No. The Mayo Clinic talks about clinical trials that have actually studied meditation.
Okay, so what are some of these findings? What conditions does the research suggest it can help with?
Well, this is where it gets quite interesting. They highlight research suggesting it can be a tool for managing things like stress.
Big one?
Huge. Also anxiety, pain, different kinds, symptoms of depression, trouble sleeping,
Insomnia.
insomnia, and even high blood pressure.
Wow, okay. That's quite a range.
It is. And they also mention some preliminary research, so early stages.
Got it. Needs more study.
Right. But indicating potential benefits for people with asthma and maybe fibromyalgia.
Interesting. So it's potentially helpful physically, but what about just general well-being, feeling better emotionally?
Yeah, definitely. They suggest meditation helps you build a different kind of relationship with your own thoughts and emotions.
How so?
More balanced, maybe, more accepting. So you're not trying to just squash difficult feelings.
Which never works anyway.
Right. It's more about learning to observe them without getting totally swept away.
Okay, that sounds calmer.
It can be. And the Mayo Clinic review also points to other potential upsides.
Like what?
Things like improved attention span.
Could use some of that.
Tell me about it. Also, decreased job burnout, maybe better sleep quality, and even some help with managing diabetes control.
Okay, that's a really broad list of potential positives.
It really is. And the encouraging thing is you don't have to become like a meditation master overnight to start.
Good to know. So it's accessible.
Very. The Mayo Clinic talks about simple, everyday ways to bring more mindfulness into your life.
Okay, let's get practical then. What are some examples?
One basic one is just pay attention.
That sounds simple enough.
It does, but think about it. We rush through so much, right? We don't really notice things.
True. Like eating lunch at your desk while working.
Exactly. So they emphasize using all your senses. Their example is mindfully eating a favorite food.
Ah, okay. So like really savoring it.
Yeah. Notice the smell, the texture, the actual taste, the enjoyment, instead of just, wolfing it down.
I can see how that would make a difference. Slowing down.
Totally. It connects to their next point. Live in the moment.
Which sounds similar.
It is, but it's about intentionally bringing that open, accepting attention to any activity, even boring ones.
Like washing dishes.
Could be. Or noticing the feeling of the sun when you step outside, or the sound of birds, or just the feeling of the water on your hands. Finding little bits of pleasure.
Finding joy in simple things. Okay, what else?
Then there's accept yourself. Treating yourself kindly.
How do you mean?
Like you'd treat a good friend, especially when things are tough or you mess up, not beating yourself up.
Ah, self-compassion. That's hard sometimes.
It really is. We're often our own worst critics. Mindfulness encourages a gentler stance towards ourselves.
Okay. And you mentioned breathing earlier.
Yes, a really core one. Focus on your breathing, even for just a minute.
How does that work?
If you're feeling overwhelmed or caught in negative thoughts, just pause, Sit down, take a deep breath, maybe close your eyes,
Yeah.
and just focus on the feeling of the breath in and out. That's it.
Just a minute can help.
They say even a minute can shift things. It kind of anchors you in the present.
Right, because your breath is always now.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
always there. A reliable anchor.
Okay, those are great, simple starting points. What about more structured stuff?
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic outlines those too, like body scan meditation.
Body scan. What's involved there?
You usually lie down comfortably, back straight, arms relaxed, palms up maybe,
Okay.
and then you slowly bring your attention to different parts of your body one by one.
Like from toes to head.
Yeah, or head to toes, doesn't matter. You just focus on each part, your foot, your knee, your shoulder, and just notice any sensations.
Sensations like warmth or tightness.
Could be anything, warmth, tingling, tightness, pain, maybe even no sensation, or emotions or thoughts that pop up connected to that area.
And again, no judgment.
Exactly. Just noticing, being aware of your physical self without trying to change anything in that moment.
That sounds quite grounding. Really tuning in.
It can be.
Yeah.
Then there's the one most people probably picture, sitting meditation.
Right, the classic pose. What are the keys for that?
Sitting comfortably, back straight but not stiff.
Yeah.
Feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap. And the main focus is usually the breath again. Feeling the air move in through your nose, out through your nose.
And what happens when your mind wanders off? Because it definitely will.
Oh, it will. That's totally normal. The practice, according to Mayo Clinic, is just to gently notice, oh, thinking, or oh, distracted, and then gently guide your attention back to the breath.
So it's not about stopping thoughts.
Not at all. It's about noticing them and choosing to return your focus. That returning is the practice.
Got it. That takes the pressure off trying to have a totally blank mind.
Absolutely. And finally, they mention walking meditation.
Walking. How's that meditation?
Well, it's good if sitting still is tough for you. You find a quiet space, maybe 10, 20 feet long,
Okay.
and you walk very slowly back and forth.
And what are you focusing on?
The physical act of walking. The sensation of your feet on the floor, the balance shifts, the movement in your legs and body.
So bringing awareness to something we normally do on autopilot.
Precisely. Just being really present with the experience of walking.
Interesting. So lots of options. When should people practice? How often?
Well, those simple ones, paying attention, focusing on breath, you can do those anywhere, anytime. Little moments throughout the day.
Like waiting in line.
Perfect example. And they do mention that doing it outdoors, engaging senses with nature can be really nice.
Makes sense. What about the structured ones like sitting or the body scan?
For those, it helps to set aside specific time, quiet place, fewer distractions.
Like first thing in the morning.
Yeah, Mayo Clinic suggests morning often works well for people before the day gets crazy, but find what works for you.
And how often? Is it like exercise?
They suggest aiming for daily practice, if possible, for about 6 months to really build the habit.
6 months sounds like a commitment.
It is initially,
Yeah.
but they also say over time it can start to feel more effortless, less like a task, more like just part of taking care of yourself.
Okay. So wrapping this up, the big idea from the Mayo Clinic seems to be mindfulness is about being here, now, fully engaged, without the running commentary or judgment.
That's a great summary. And there are lots of ways to practice, from tiny moments to more dedicated sessions.
And you don't need to jump into an hour-long sit right away.
Definitely not. Start small. Try mindfully eating one bite of food. Try focusing on 3 breaths. See how it feels.
Right. So for everyone listening, maybe think about this. Considering what we've heard from the Mayo Clinic, what if you tried focusing on just one sense, maybe taste or sound during your next meal or on your next walk?
Yeah, if I'm at that simple shift, change that moment for you.
And then maybe consider what other parts of your day could use a little bit more of that focused, non-judgmental attention. Something to ponder.